Hello and welcome to Pop Along RC, and in today's video I've bought myself a car for £40 and I'm going to get it ready for racing. If you're a regular to the channel, you will know that quite recently I took out my old GT12. This is one of the Supastox, and you know what? I had a great time racing over at Milton Keynes Radio Control Car Club. However, this car is seriously outdated now and could not compete. So just to recap then, you had the sort of super stock cars that came out and they all run shells quite similar to these. They're actually quite high. This one I think is an Audi, and all the shells were quite similar actually back in the day, whereas the shells of today are a lot lower, a lot racier. So I was running an old Supastox, and then that evolved onto the Supastox GT, which is this one here, and this is the car that I ran at Milton Keynes recently. Now, from walking around, chatting to people, everyone there was running either the Atom 1 or the Atom 2. What did I actually get for £40? Well, I actually got these two cars for £40. So if we actually take a look, we have got here an Atom 1. This one came with a servo. It's got a servo saver, but it came with no wheels, and that is pretty much it. That is what you got. A carbon chassis and a shell. But there was also this car here, which accompanied it, and this one here has got. Let's have a quick look at what we get under this one. This one does not come with a servo. It has got some nice Schumacher weights in the back there, but it is also an Atom, except this one is the alley chassis. For my £40 I got these two chassis, and between them I plan to get a car built. Now it came with a servo, so I don't need to worry about servo. However, I need to put a motor and ESC in this car. Now I don't want this to cost me an absolute fortune, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the motor and ESC out of this car, put it in that one. So again, it still cost me £40. So I've still got loads of tyres left over from my Supastox car, which I thought, oh, that'll be easy. I can just chuck some of those on and away we go. Unfortunately, these cars run slightly different wheels. So therefore I have had to go out and buy myself some new wheels to run these cars. I started off going to my local model shop, and they actually had a lot of the Supastox wheels in. He's actually selling them off at a discounted rate now, so there's some of those available at Sunderland Models. However, I needed to get some slightly different ones. Ordered these ones up so that they came super quick for me, and I have now got some wheels for this car. So what we've got then is we've got tyres. I've got 3 sets for £16. I've got oils, £12 for 2. I've got bearings. I've got 2 sets here, which came in at £8. So bearing in mind I'm taking the motor and ESC out of this car and putting it in there, this car's actually cost me £76 if I run one of the 2 shells it came with. So let's get this thing built up and ready to race. So here it is, pretty much done. Tyres on. I'll be taking these off again in a second because I always keep the tyres off the car while they're in transit, and then I'll put them on when we get to the race venue. Electrics, those wires. I can see Mark having a bit of a heart attack looking at that at the moment because he likes his wires to be nice and tidy. I do need to get some cable ties and sort those out, so they are a bit of a mess. I've got a couple of ports left here, so I'm considering putting a fan on this one because at the moment it hasn't got a fan. If I put a fan on, I'll probably be able to run slightly higher gearing. This is a fixed motor, so I can't actually turn up the timing on it. And the ESC equally is the P45, I think. I think most people nowadays are running the 95, so it's a one cell ESC compared to most cars tend to run two cells, but these pan cars sort of and GT12s run a single cell LiPo. I do need to put a little bit of oil on these. So that is your shocks there, and then we've got the side ones here. So I do need to take those off, add a little bit of oil, and then this is pretty much ready to run. So if we take a look in the manual, you can see there damper oil, 10,000 for low grip, 20,000 for higher. I've had a look online at different car setups and there's lots of various options. So the oils I've actually opted for today is we have got 15 smack bang in the middle. I'm going to start with that. I've also got a 30 here, which I might use when I change it up, but let's go with a 15 for now. So there it is, all boxed up. We have got 2 sets of rear tyres, 1 set of front. We've got our oil there. We have a car built. We also have the box. In here we've got a few spares, manual, things like that. I will also be taking the spare chassis with me. So if anything does break, I can just pull it off of here and I've got spares. Yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to go. Okay, so here it is. Additives on, batteries in, shell on, time to go racing. Okay, so round 1 is done. Car absolutely amazing. Driver did okay, but he's a bit of a numpty because he forgot to put his transponder in. So I don't really know exactly how well I did. Although, on a positive note, I was not overtaken or lapped by any cars. So therefore, I pretty much guaranteed to finish on the same lap as the winner of my heat, or 1 lap behind if he got through just before the buzzer. So looking at that, I'm looking at 22, 23 laps, and yeah, let's go out for round 2.
Could be a feat, could be a feat.
So as we can see here, I'm doing all right. 23 laps, I'm in the mix, very close to getting up into 7th spot. I had 1 bad lap in the last race. So if you come over here and have a look down there, you can see that I've got an 18-second lap. So I had a little collision with a back marker and it cost me about 5 seconds. So if you take 5 seconds off, I am well and truly in the mix. So we have got here another GT12. Now this car is a
Atom 2. And this is the car I'm having the closest battles with today, I think. We're pretty even on track. 13.5 turn X Factor motor, made by RevTech. You see there. So we got the Phantom battery, 7,800 mAh. That is pretty big compared to what I'm running. 100C as well. So we have the Hobbywing XR10 Pro 1S ESC there. You're looking at about £180 just for that little part of the car there. Sanwa servo in there. That's the kind of go-to for these cars at the moment. Steel alloy chassis that everyone seems to be switching over to at the moment. So we've got about £105 for the servo, £150 for the motor, £70 for the batteries. We've got 2 or 3 of those. £210, £220 for the chassis. So that is not a cheap car, but it is performing really well on the track.
That's not a good start. Third.
So there you have it, out racing with my bargain £40 chassis. How did the car get on? Really well, really pleased with how the car handled on the track. What did let me down today though was the speed of the car. So the old motor and the old ESC it's running just could not pack the big enough punch up against some of the faster cars there today. What did I learn about the car? I'll tell you what I did learn. Stay off the tape. I got caught out on a couple of incidences where I hit the tape and where I tried to turn in, the car just went straight on, crashing into the barriers. So it's really important with the foam tyres that you stay well and truly off of the tape, because that did cost me a couple of positions. So how consistent was I with this car? I think it was the second round, my fastest lap and my top 10 average was 0.15 of a second. So I can't really do much better than that with that car. As I sort of warmed to the car, I did actually manage a couple of laps completely full throttle for an entire lap, so I didn't even have to ease off to get round any of the turns. So upgrades I could make to this car, I definitely think it warrants a new motor and ESC. Obviously that's not going to be cheap, and that's not something I'm going to be doing right away on the channel, but it was a fun little experiment. The car was performing much better than the Supastox GT that I was running previously, so the step up between the GT and the Atom is massive. The step up between the Atom 1 and the Atom 2 is supposed to be quite a bit as well. So I'm just happy that I got in the mix with the car that I did. So hopefully you found that video informative and interesting. If you have, like, subscribe, hit the old ding dong bell, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.